One thing that I've been thinking about recently, specifically maybe today, is Commander Graves dying in Modern Warfare 4. This is a topic that I think we've kind of touched on here and there, but never really dove into it a little bit deeper. And I just think the question of Commander Graves dying in Modern Warfare 4 is almost maybe set in stone, because I think there's going to be a lot of big players that are going to die in the next Modern Warfare, just because it feels like it's probably going to be the last one. We know that some of these actors are probably ready to move on to do something different, so they can't keep it going forever. And I'm thinking that there's going to be some big players that are going to die, some fan favorites, maybe to try to hit us in the emotion or to try to really make the game feel deep or something like that. And one of the characters that I think is going to go is Commander Graves. Now, I think the division between Commander Graves is very different compared to like a Captain Price, because most people like Captain Price, most people like Ghost, most people like Farah Kareem or whatever, but people are split on Commander Graves, and we know this. So it's kind of like a 50-50 or 60-40. Some people like him, some people really don't. Some people are eager and ready to kill him, and some people want him to keep surviving. But I think killing off Commander Graves would be something that Call of Duty would do. And I'm trying to think like Call of Duty, like Activision, like Modern Warfare, like the writers, and it just seems like a decision that they would make. A lot of the times when I talk about Call of Duty or I talk about Modern Warfare or the story beats or whatever, I usually like to treat it like I would God of War, like I would The Last of Us, like I would Red Dead, like I would a story game, like I would a game written by people that care and love the story and want to expand on the lore. I treat it in that way. I give it the same respect. Does it deserve it? I'm not sure. But the reason that I do that is because it's more interesting for me that way. That's why I like to come up with all these different little ideas or what ifs that could happen in the world of Call of Duty. And personally, I would love, like I've told you guys, for Commander Graves to survive, and maybe we could get like a spin-off game focused on PMCs and Graves could be one of the leads. And that would be awesome, and it would expand the story, expand the lore, expand the world of Modern Warfare, and let's take Commander Graves further and further and redeem him and make him a great character. Will Call of Duty do that? More than likely not, because their main focus is the multiplayer aspects of their games. They give us these campaigns as like a B version, but their main goal every year is multiplayer, zombies, and now Warzone. And honestly, story takes a big back seat, so they won't dive and put that many resources into a character and develop him greatly just because I like him or because a couple people like him. So thinking like a Call of Duty writer, potentially the best thing that we're gonna get is a little bit more Graves in the first half of Modern Warfare 4, and then at some point he's probably gonna get murdered, killed by somebody. Now I think 3 people off the top of my head that could do the killing in Modern Warfare 4, and maybe all 3 could be justified for doing so. The first one, and least obvious in my opinion, could be Captain Price. Captain Price could kill Commander Graves. Why? Because Captain Price is now unhinged, and he literally went into the Pentagon, snuck in there, and killed a United States general in Herschel Shepard. Whatever his reasoning, it was illegal, and he should be in big trouble for that. So since he did that, and since the handcuffs are off basically, there is no reason as to why Captain Price doesn't go out searching for Commander Graves and kill him as well. Because after the message that Makarov left Price in "Don't bury your enemies alive," I would think that Captain Price considered Makarov an enemy, of course, General Herschel Shepard an enemy, of course, and Commander Graves an enemy for the stuff that he did to his team in Mexico. That is still not forgotten. And so I think Captain Price could hunt down Commander Graves the same way that he hunted down General Herschel Shepard and kill him face to face to make sure that the job is done. And I could see Call of Duty doing this because it would elevate Captain Price even more, make him even more badass, quote unquote, and they'd probably give you a cool one-liner to really sell it. It would be cool, right? It would be cool to see. And as for number 2, we have Alejandro Vargas. Now, a lot of people want and expect really for the Mexican Special Forces, Valeria Garza, Alejandro, Las Almas Cartel, to make a return in Modern Warfare 4. Now, I believe they will come back in some capacity as well, but maybe we could see Alejandro finish business with Commander Graves, and I think a lot of people would like to see that are fans of the Mexican Special Forces, and the actor himself, Alain Mesa, said the same thing. He had unfinished business with Commander Graves, and so we know that actors say things all the time. They they sometimes don't have a say in their characters, but maybe in this case, because he was so beloved, because he did such a good job, Alejandro Vargas might have a little say in what's going on, and maybe he can push the writers in a direction of killing Commander Graves if the story needs for Commander Graves to die. Maybe Alejandro would be one of the people because he has his reasons. He killed a bunch of people in Mexico, cartel members or not. Alejandro may be angry about that. He took his base, he bitched him in front of his team, he put him behind bars. So Alejandro Vargas has a big debt to collect from Commander Graves, and I could see Alejandro Vargas pulling the trigger on Graves. And now the last person that I could see killing Commander Graves is a little bit out there and kind of dives into maybe treating Call of Duty like I would treat any other writer in any other game in terms of story. I could see Vladimir Makarov kill Commander Graves because maybe as you're playing Modern Warfare 4, Commander Graves is maybe a part of the team. He's been trying to help, trying to redeem himself, trying to, I don't know, make up for past sins. Like, he doesn't owe anything to Task Force 141 or anybody. He's a private military company. He does his own thing and he's cold-blooded, so he doesn't owe anyone anything. But maybe there was some sort of redemption that he wanted to do for himself, and so he helps track down Makarov. And maybe he just doesn't like Makarov. He really wants to take Makarov out for his own personal beliefs. And we get maybe a scene where Shadow Company almost has Makarov, and they go in and a unit of shadows goes in to maybe apprehend or kill Makarov. They get ambushed. Commander Graves is the one leading it. He gets overpowered by a lot of Connie group forces. Maybe Commander Graves is down and out, and we know how savage and bad as Commander Graves is, and it would make a big statement for Makarov to maybe get the upper hand on Graves and kill him and send a message to Task Force 141, the United States, or whatever, and say like, I'm coming for all of you, or something like that. Like, wouldn't it be savage if Makarov killed Graves and then maybe we got like a little scene of Graves dead hanging from somewhere?
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
And, you know, Makarov showing that to the world and beginning a war or something, you know, that would be freaking crazy. First of all, I wouldn't want to see that because that's my boy, but that would be crazy. And maybe Call of Duty could go in a route like that, you know, and so that's kind of what I'm getting at. I could see these three people taking out Commander Graves if he is to die in Modern Warfare 4, which something is just telling me that he really will. What do you think about that? And if you do think he's gonna die, who do you think is going to pull the trigger and why?